The leaders of Stormont, including First Minister Michelle O'Neill, Deputy First Minister Emma Little-Pengley, and Justice Minister Naomi Long, have expressed their disapproval of the violence that took place in Belfast. Justice Minister Long stated that there is no place for xenophobia, racism, and Islamophobia in Northern Ireland. Long expressed her gratitude to the Police Service of Northern Ireland, PSNI, for their response to the incidents in Belfast on Saturday, and extended her best wishes to the officers injured in the line of duty. A police and crime official indicated that a small but violent group was responsible for the unacceptable disorder and violence on the streets of Bristol last night. This behavior does not constitute a protest or a justified expression of concern. Avon and Somerset Police and Crime Commissioner Claire Moody stated that the behavior in question constitutes criminal activity. A national monitoring group reported on Sunday that the increase in far-right activity over the past week has resulted in a tripling of hate crime cases and a 5-fold increase in threats against Muslims, including threats of rape and death. Preliminary findings from Telmama's investigation indicate that Muslims in the UK have been terrified by the rise in far-right activity since Monday, directly linked to a significant increase in hate crimes against Muslims. A police and crime commissioner has been criticized for stating that protest groups, following the stabbings in Southport, focus on protecting British sovereignty, defending British values, and stopping illegal immigration. According to Donna Jones, a Conservative Party politician who has served as the Police and Crime Commissioner for Hampshire since 2021, and also chairs the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners, arresting people addresses the symptom rather than the cause. The statement posted on the Hampshire PCC website seems to have been removed. According to the Humberside Police and Crime Commissioner, the violent and disorderly scenes in Julianoche were directly opposed to the city's heritage of acceptance and tolerance. Jonathan Evison stated that the scenes witnessed were completely inappropriate and would not be accepted under any circumstances. A city councillor from Jui said that volunteers who arrived this morning with brooms to clean up the mess from the previous night's disturbances are what represents Jui. Jack Hands, responsible for community portfolios, stated that his neighborhood is tolerant and united. Throughout the night, Hui street cleaning teams worked tirelessly to ensure the city was ready for business on Sunday. Volunteers arrived with brooms at 7 a.m. to assist the city council teams, despite many establishments remaining closed. Most of the city's neighborhoods have reopened since the chaos on Saturday. Ukraine has requested that the United Nations and the Red Cross conduct an investigation into a widely circulated photograph allegedly showing a Ukrainian prisoner of war being dismembered and executed by Russian soldiers. According to Mitro Lubinets, the country's top human rights official, the photograph is likely of a Ukrainian prisoner. Lubinets stated that the prisoner's head and limbs were cut off by individuals believed to be Russian forces. This accusation was made by Prosecutor General Andrei Kostin, who claimed that Russia repeatedly committed Nazi-like crimes. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military has reported sinking a submarine in the Russian-controlled city of Sevastopol. They also attacked an airfield in southern Russia and targeted oil depots as well as fuel and lubricant storage facilities in the Belgorod, Kursk, and Rostov districts. In a post on X, the Russian Ministry of Defense said a Russian submarine had reached the bottom of the Black Sea. The B-237 Rostov-on-Don assault submarine was identified as the vessel that achieved this feat. According to the report, the vessel was valued at $300 million, or £233 million. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Russian forces had deployed over 600 guided aerial bombs to launch an offensive against Ukraine over the past week. The fuel tanks of a storage station in the Kamensky district of the Rostov-on-Don region caught fire due to a drone attack, according to local officials in Russia. It is reported that Ukraine sank a Russian submarine. According to the Ukrainian military, they sank a submarine in the Russian-controlled territory of Sevastopol. Additionally, they attacked an airfield in southern Russia and targeted oil depots and fuel and lubricant storage facilities in the Belgorod, Kursk, and Rostov regions. A Russian submarine sank to the bottom of the Black Sea, the Ministry of Defense stated in a post on X. The B-237 Rostov-on-Don attack submarine was identified as the vessel that undertook this journey with the Russian government. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces, the attack on the Sevastopol port also caused severe damage to 4 launchers of the S-400 Triumph air defense system. According to Ukraine, Russia is accused of dismembering a prisoner on the battlefield. According to the Ukrainian Human Rights Commissioner, an image widely shared online appears to depict a Ukrainian prisoner of war who was killed and mutilated by Russian forces. He has called for the United Nations and the Red Cross to investigate the matter. Additionally, the Ukrainian Prosecutor General announced that an immediate investigation has been launched into the material circulated on social media regarding the murder and mutilation of a Ukrainian soldier. Dmytro Lubinets, Ukraine's top human rights official, stated that a photograph uploaded to the internet appears to show a Ukrainian prisoner whose head and limbs were severed by Russians. Lubinets made this statement on Telegram. In light of these horrific images, I urgently call upon the United Nations and the Red Cross to document this new human rights violation committed by the terrorist state, Lubinets wrote in his letter. Andrei Kostin, the Prosecutor General, stated that an investigation into the matter was promptly initiated. In a message posted on Telegram, he said, Russia persistently repeats the crimes committed by the Nazis, showing a complete disregard for all norms of the civilized world. Torturing or otherwise mistreating prisoners of war is something that Russia categorically denies. In July, Ukraine carried out more drone attacks than Russia for the first time since the beginning of the war. Ukrainian military figures indicate that Russia launched 426 shaded drones at Ukraine, and Ukraine responded with over 520 drones simultaneously. This news comes as Russia has faced catastrophic attacks on its oil refineries and other sites in recent months, and Russian efforts to down Ukrainian weaponry seem less effective. The number of drone attacks carried out by the Ukrainian government exceeded 200 in each of the previous 2 months. Critical infrastructure in Ukraine has been damaged by a Russian attack during the conflict. A Russian drone attack overnight damaged critical infrastructure in the Vinnytsia region of central Ukraine, according to a local official. In the midnight attack that occurred in 9 areas, the Ukrainian Air Force claimed to have shot down 24 of the 29 Shadke drones launched by Russia. According to the Russian Air Force, Russian forces also launched 2 S-302 guided missiles and 2 Kh-31 missiles into the airspace. The Ukrainian government announced earlier this week that it had successfully thwarted one of Russia's most extensive long-range drone attacks since February 2022. The country successfully shot down all 89 drones, which included a significant number of decoys intended to weaken Ukraine's air defenses. According to Zelensky, Russia launched an attack on Ukraine using more than 600 guided aerial bombs last week. During the past week, Russia reportedly deployed over 600 guided aerial bombs to launch attacks on Ukraine, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It is imperative that Russian fighter jets are eradicated on all fronts, regardless of where they are located. It is also very reasonable to launch attacks on Russian airfields. Moreover, we need this collaborative approach with our partners, which is a security solution, Zelensky stated in a social media post. An earlier statement by the Ukrainian military on Saturday claimed they had launched an attack on the Morozovsk airfield in Russia. The attack targeted an ammunition arsenal that included various weapons, including guided aerial bombs. As Ukrainian forces attempt to push back Putin's troops, Russian forces continue to advance toward a vital city. Ukraine is struggling with a shortage of soldiers. Due to delays in receiving military assistance from the West, Russian forces are steadily advancing toward the vital and strategic city of Pokrovsk in the eastern Donetsk province. This is happening while Ukraine is facing difficulties in equipping new brigades. In a few weeks, Pokrovsk has become the primary target of fighting because it is a significant supply route for other Ukrainian outposts. Military analysts are concerned that the Ukrainian army does not have the equipment to stop the advance. However, they anticipate that the Russian attack will slow down as it moves into more densely populated areas. In recent days, the Russian Ministry of Defense has claimed to have captured 2 villages east of Pokrovsk, namely Proraz and Yevanivka. The current goal of Russia's military operations is to achieve an advance closer to Pokrovsk. Recent statements by President Zelensky indicate that the conflict in the region surrounding the extensive Donetsk front line is proving extremely challenging, but that Ukraine has the strength to achieve its objectives.